His love for cars began from a tiny age. As soon as he could pedal his push bike, he wanted a motorbike. As soon as he could do that, he wanted the car. Being around his dad was always on the trials bike, or his uncle had the rally car. We all knew that Scott was going to do the rally. It was in his blood, really. The Mull Rally happens every year. It really is a big deal for all the islanders. Scott asked me to navigate for him.
Right, minus, 4 right.
You're in the car, the adrenaline is absolutely pumping, and it's all go, go, go.
5 right, narrows to 4 right, minus, no cut.
We're only a couple of minutes into the stage, picking up pace. We come up round the right-hand corner.
Double caution to centre, 3 left over crest, 1 right. Slippy.
The back wheel just came round, it caught the verge. And then the next thing is it's all over.
Scotland is huge. Swathes of it are remote and far from immediate help.
Is patient accessible?
He's in the middle of nowhere.
People want to go to the extreme.
We're coming as fast as we can, okay?
And that's when they get into trouble.
Emergency call for HeliMed 5 and trauma team.
I think she'll be a really difficult extrication from the rocks.
For many serious trauma patients, they may not survive if they have to wait to get to hospital to get the treatment that they need. That's why we have to bring the emergency department to the patient.
Responding to the most serious emergencies.
We are on scene attempting a land-on, over.
Scotland's National Trauma Network dispatch elite clinicians to those in need.
Trauma team on scene.
Whether it be halfway up a mountain, at the bottom of cliffs, in overturned cars.
It's the difference between life and death.
Right, I was in.
Saving lives.
I cannot feel a radial pulse.
No matter where.
We've just got eyes on them.
Special service test.
I am covering the Mull Rally.
Are you a doctor? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a transfer off the island, I'm afraid. A patient's been injured in the rally. Suspected chest wall injury and spinal thoracic injury.
Rally driver Scott has gone down a 20-foot embankment at high speed.
He's had a total of 15 milligrams of morphine and 4 milligrams of ondansetron so far.
On-scene medics are concerned he may have sustained life-changing injuries.
HeliMed 76.
Can we have your assistance, please, for a job on Mull? We've got a 23-year-old rally driver with possible spinal injury and chest wall injury to go to the Queen Elizabeth in Glasgow.
Yeah, I've got it.
Thank you very much. Control out.
HeliMed 76, Scotland's charity air ambulance, which works in partnership with the Scottish Ambulance Service, is immediately dispatched. They are currently 40 minutes away from the patient, who's being assessed by a local medical team on the island.
Have you got OBS?
Saturations are ranging from 94 to 96%. Respiratory rate of 24. Blood pressure 142/83.
When someone's been involved in a rally car accident, there's lots of different things we have to consider. It's going to be obviously at a high velocity, so there's a lot of speed involved there. They could be crushed, they could be trapped within the vehicle, there could be debris that's caused injury. So all sorts of different things that could be classed as major trauma. It's a huge red flag to us. That's all received. We're coming to get you as fast as we can. When someone has been seriously injured on an island or remote and rural, the priority for us is to get that patient off the island into definitive care as quickly as possible.
I think we went over maybe 3 times. It's very much in slow motion. And then it just came to a halt. I had a bit of a sore shoulder when I got out of the car, but apart from that, I was absolutely fine. But Scott could see that he was in so much pain. Every bit of colour had changed from his face. His breathing was a bit erratic. I've got to get him out of here. He needs medical assistance and he needs it now.
Yeah, Hellinger 76 to control, just for your update, with an extended ETA of approximately 10 minutes, 10 minutes, over.
That's noted, thank you very much. Control out.
He goes from being Scott, who's, you know, a big strapping guy, to a helpless person, you know? You've got one job to keep him safe. I wish it had been me that had taken the brunt of the accident. What if he really has done long-term damage?
23-year-old rally driver Scott is being airlifted to the Queen Elizabeth Major Trauma Centre after he was injured in a high-speed car crash on the Isle of Mull.
It's a rally driver who's rolled his car several times.
Is everybody ready?
One of the rally ambulances came. They checked him over as thoroughly as they could, and they decided he needs to be taken to the hospital.
Stay nice and safe on the Scott. Roll. Ready, steady, back. Okay, slides. Keep your head nice and still, okay?
A road traffic accident in which a car has fallen 20 foot is an incredibly high energy mechanism. Potential for injuries is massive.
Do you have any pain anywhere at the moment?
My back and my chest when I'm breathing.
Okay, okay. When someone has a chest wall injury, I'm concerned about the possibility of a pneumothorax, which is a lung which has been punctured and collapsed down within the chest.
Sore anywhere in here when I'm pushing? A bit here in the middle. And there's central sternal tenderness.
But also, the chest contains the largest blood vessels in the human body. Bleeding from a vessel inside of your chest, that is an immediate concern and threat to life.
So a wee bit of cold jelly just going on your chest now, pal, okay? We've got pleural sliding on the right. Lung is up on the right. Got pleural sliding on the left. Lung is up on the left. No suspicion of blood in the chest.
With no obvious injuries to his lungs, doctors begin to assess Scott's spine.
Were you wearing a helmet? Okay.
Full safety, yes.
Yeah. Did you have a roll cage in the car?
Yes.
Yeah. And were you wearing anything to protect your spine? Spinal jacket or spinal cord of any kind? No. Okay.
Spinal injuries are terrifying. Your spinal column contains your spinal cord. That carries the nerves to your arms and legs.
Oh. There. Is it on the bone there, or is it more at the side?
Just the side. The higher up the bone is broken, the greater risk that carries, because if the bone moves and pushes on the spinal cord, the paralysis that will cause will be much greater. The potential outcome can be devastating to patients.
So we're going to get a scan from top to toe to look to see if you've got any injuries. Okay. CT ready, let's go.
Scott's my oldest nephew. We're only 13 years apart. I've kind of grown up with Scott as sort of a wee brother, really.
Hi Scott, my name is Ian, just going to get you sorted for the scan, okay?
We're both from Mull originally and we've lived here most of our lives. It's a lovely place to live. Lots of our family are still on the island. Me and Scott have always been really close. Probably seen him most days, if not every day, you know, popping in for cups of tea. Scott is definitely somebody who is always on the move, always trying new sports or, you know, getting involved in something.
Nice and still, see you in a few minutes.
Your sports and everything is a huge part of the social life on Mull. There isn't bowling or cinema or, you know, all that sort of stuff to do. So you go out in your boat or you go out in your trials bike with your pals, go to the garage and tinker about with the rally car. It's a huge, huge part of Scott's life. Sitting still is just not him.
Two vertebrae that were potentially unstable. So 2 column fractures through 2 upper thoracic vertebral bodies, specifically T4 and T5.
When anyone says anything about paralysis or anything like that, you do panic. Is he going to fully recover from it? Is he going to be able to lead a normal life? Is he going to be able to walk properly again?
Hi Scott. I've got the results back from the scan, okay? So there's 2 bones at the top of your spine that are broken, okay?
One of the bones in your back looks like it might be crushed a wee bit.
And at the moment, they're potentially unstable, okay? So if you were to get up and moving around and stuff, they could potentially shift, yeah, and cause problems by pushing on your spinal cord, okay?
Scott will be moved to the orthopaedic ward, where doctors will continue to monitor the broken bones in his spine.
Ambulance service, is the patient breathing?
Car's on its side, I can't get to the lady at the moment and she's in a cow field. She's strapped in the car and I cannot get to her.
So Helen 76 from Perth, going to Crieff. It's a 65-year-old that's fell off a quad and she's sustained a head injury.
Ambulance emergency, is the patient breathing?
I don't think so. Somebody's just been knocked down by a bus and it looks like he's went under the tyres.
Did he go underneath, fully underneath?
Yeah.
Is he awake?
He's not awake, no. Totally unconscious. He's bleeding quite bad at his head.
We're going to get some help as soon as we can.
Emergency call, trauma team by road, general area of city centre of Glasgow. We have a male that's been hit by a bus and went under the tyres.
The unknown male is lying unresponsive on the road. He's a Category 1 emergency, the most life-threatening.
Yes, that's received. Over.
999 mode activated.
Retrieval practitioner Ben and consultant Doug are 10 miles away from the scene. Ahead of them are a fire crew, police, and the nearest available ambulance.
Is he still under the bus?
Yeah.
Just do not move him unless he's in danger, okay?
Don't move him. Yo, don't move him. Police have just arrived.
Could you just let the police know that we're coming as fast as we can, okay?
Trauma team, just let you know, first crew have arrived on scene. Has head injury, could have broken legs and pelvis injury as well. Over.
So it was the first right after this. Good from your right. Should be up here. Trauma team on scene.
Hey, do you know here first? Guys, we're going to have this bus if we know that's after him.
Is he talking to you or anything?
Yeah, I can't really understand what he's saying.
Let's go for a rapid roll onto the pelvic binder. Ready, set, roll. Well done, buddy.
I'm going to get a quick set of obs of blood pressure. He's cold, isn't he? Shut down. I cannot feel a radial pulse. Is anyone else got one?
Just so really when shutting down.
Yeah, I think he's major hemorrhage, isn't he? Scene update for the attention of trauma desk. We have a male in his 30s to 40s, hemorrhage concerns, reduced level of consciousness, code red.
A code red is a time-critical term we use for a patient that we are giving blood to in a pre-hospital environment.
Right, plan is for access, TXA, start blood. Yep. Let's get the blood in, and we're going to be giving him a blood transfusion now.
Okay.
If someone's losing blood and hemorrhaging, unless you can replace some of the blood that has been lost, their life is at risk.
The blood is there. It's just like normal fluid now. Just up and run it through.
Start squeezing that. Is that running okay?
It was flushing.
That's great, thanks for that. That's excellent. Blood's running.
I've got the ketamine here for you.
I'm just going to put an IO on the other side. Do you mind if I get on that side? It's going to get a humeral IO shortly.
IO stands for intraosseous. If it's clear that we can't get a cannula in because of the clinical condition of the patient and we need to give drugs immediately, then the use of an IO is often extremely useful.
What's that?
We use the intraosseous route, which essentially is the bone marrow.
A specialist power drill is used to insert a needle into the bone.
Right, IO's in.
Drugs can then be given directly into the vascular system.
Just giving you some drugs just now to make you feel a wee bit better.
We'll see if we can get a blood pressure. We've not managed to establish a blood pressure as of yet. I cannot feel a radial pulse. Has anyone else got one? I can't feel a radial. He's pale, he's shocked, and he's got a significant mechanism. Yeah. I think we should RSI him based on what's going on. So let's start working on that now.
An RSI, a rapid sequence induction, is a risky procedure. It's not taken lightly.
1, 2, 3.
You essentially give an anaesthetic, stopping them from breathing, so that you can then take over the effort of their breathing for them.
Can I get some quiet, please?
However, urban environments are busy and potentially quite chaotic. That can make the job extremely difficult.
So we're going to be doing an anaesthetic. It's a high stakes procedure that we're going to do. Can we try and clear out some of the public?
90 milligrams of ketamine, 9 mils, followed by 100 milligrams of rock.
Check.
Okay, you happy to proceed?
Happy to proceed. Okay, loads of blood in the airway, suction.
By placing a small breathing tube down into the windpipe, it allows you to deliver oxygen. So we need to breathe for that patient.
Puff's going up.
So we have chest rise, good air entry bilaterally. Let's put him on the vent and see how he does on that.
Coming off. Ventilator on.
So we're ventilating, aren't we?
Yeah.
Half 4, 4:45 the door, chaps. I could see the police through the door.
So I have an adult male unknown. He is a pedestrian versus bus.
And as I looked, they took their hats off. And I always remember when the police come to your door, if they take their hats off, you're getting bad news.
He is a code red major hemorrhage. 15 minutes by road.
And I knew. I just thought, Kenneth.
He's getting his 3rd unit of blood. That's the last of our bloods.
I said, just tell me, just tell me.
We're about 2 minutes away.
And they said, just fighting for his life.
Hello, ambulance service. We're scared on Gideon, the mountain on Skye. The rope we were attached to broke and my husband's fallen 40 foot. We need mountain rescue.
There's a 35-year-old female that has got an upper leg injury, which is facing in the wrong direction.
Ambulance service.
And I saw a lady literally tumble down a 15-foot cliff onto bare rock.
Is patient breathing?
She was struggling with breathing.
So about 15 feet, you said she's fallen?
Yeah, about that, possibly more, and they can't get her out.
In control, trained specialists continue to monitor the most serious of cases.
A 45-year-old female has fallen approximately 15 feet at waterfall in Mull.
That's where she is. There's the waterfall there, but she's like probably down here somewhere.
That is some waterfall. Looks dangerous.
The female hiker has fallen on Es Forsh waterfall on the Isle of Mull.
And she's surrounded by the water, you said, yeah, on the rock?
Yeah, on the rock.
Okay.
He looks just immovable.
But he can't get down to her. I think she'll be a really difficult extrication from the rocks.
Anywhere that comes up and it's in the middle of nowhere, it's a red flag for us. We need to get something to them as soon as possible. Falling from a waterfall on a rock, there's massive potential there for some life-threatening injuries. I mean, a fall from a waterfall ultimately can end up in death.
A local Mull ambulance crew are already on scene, assessing patient access.
They've managed to get down, but there's no way they'll extricate her. They need SAR to winch her off. Can we task SAR to that?
Can we use your assistance, please, on a job on Mull? Yeah, no problem.
When these remote and rural jobs come in, that's when we utilise search and rescue to go and assist. They specialise in moving patients from difficult terrains to the most inaccessible places.
The Coast Guard helicopter is immediately dispatched.
People want to go to the extreme, so they go places where are maybe a bit off the beaten track, and that's when they get into situations and they get into trouble.
UK Rescue is 5 POB.
The crew are a 30-minute flight away from the patient, with local paramedics, Coast Guard rescue team and volunteers already on scene.
Does she have a reasonable radial pulse and reasonable colour over?
Not at the moment, no.
The woman's husband was at home in England when the accident happened.
Sally were on holiday in Mull, visiting a friend. They were going to go out and have picnics, go for walks, go see the waterfall. Generally just having a nice girly week, really, without us men there. I was just watching TV and I got this phone call. I thought, oh, Sally's ringing me. But it wasn't Sally when I picked the phone up, it was Fiona, a friend. Fiona told me she'd fallen down 15 foot and she tripped on a tree root off the cliff onto some rocks and landed in water.
As I got towards it, the shock set in that actually this is serious. She's not messing about here. She started sort of shutting down, closing her eyes. And I said to her, you can close your eyes as often as you like, but I'm not going to let you go to sleep. That was the most frightening bit, because I thought if she went to sleep, she might not wake up.
Make that our final approach, Jack, and you are clear doors.
With the Coast Guard now on scene, the priority is to get the patient extricated and onto the helicopter.
Didn't realise how remote we actually were and where she actually fell. It was going to be such a big rescue to get her out. When you realise all these bodies are arriving to help your friend, you realise that the seriousness is ramped up. It was a tricky place to be. There were big boulders. It's really slippy, so you got to climb and bend. It's dangerous. And the other thing she did say was, "Don't let me die."
The nearest major trauma centre is in Glasgow, 126 miles away.
I knew it were bad when the helicopter to take her there. I just wanted to get it to her straight away. Sally's my world, to be honest. I don't know how to do without them.
Year-old Kenneth is being rushed to the Queen Elizabeth Major Trauma Centre in Glasgow after being hit by a bus. He has been put on life support at the roadside.
Guys, someone taking the blood out from the fridge?
Ready? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
So we have a male who's gone underneath the back wheel of a bus and has been dragged down the road. His main concerns and life-threatening injury at the moment is hemorrhagic shock. We are on our 3rd unit of packed red cells. He's had an RSI and transfer ventilated. Okay, so ongoing requirements are blood products and resuscitation.
Can I get the trauma line to here, please?
Let's try and get a blood pressure. Has she got a radial pulse?
No.
No radial pulse. What blood products do we have here?
So we've got FFP and platelets, which one has the bag of blood.
One of the biggest causes of death within the first 24 hours is bleeding.
Just 30 seconds and we'll have access here. Can I give you this? This is his first samples.
Okay, so this is the 4th unit of blood going up now, isn't it?
Yes.
Our key priority is to preserve blood flow to the brain to prevent any neurological injury.
Right, trauma line is attached. Do you want to give volume?
Yep.
We've still not got blood pressure. Is there any external hemorrhage anywhere we can see? Let's uncover him, please. Do you think he's got retrobulbar hemorrhage? Or?
He's got something going on there. We're struggling with his blood pressure. People can tolerate low blood pressures for reasonable amounts of time, but the longer it goes on for, the organs in the body will start to go into organ failure. People can die from that quite quickly.
So he's got 5 of blood.
We hit the criteria for major hemorrhage. When are we ready for CT?
My plan was to look at his chest and pelvis before we go, but if we yeah, just in case, so we know, just in case he deteriorates.
And then we'll go through CT.
Okay.
Our goal is to get them within the CT scanner within 30 minutes to look for injuries that aren't obvious externally. Those injuries need to be dealt with quickly because they can progress and be life-threatening.
Let's go to CT.
Okay, we're all good to go?
Yeah. 55-year-old hill walker Sally is being airlifted to the Queen Elizabeth Major Trauma Centre after she tripped and fell down a waterfall.
So this is a high fall. Sounds like probably quite multiple complex orthopedic injuries. Goodness knows what else. So it's more about manpower. This sounds like it's going to be a lot of work.
Stand by to recess.
We're going to lift when I say lift. Right? Ready, brace, lift. And stop and down.
Okay, so this is Sally. She's fallen 15 foot down into the ravine. Her main complaint was pain in her right hip.
This is going to be a wee bit sore, this part.
Ready, brace, lift. And ready, brace, down. Okay.
Deep breath, deep breath.
Falls from height can be quite concerning because if you land it into a hard surface, it can cause a pattern of injuries that shudder all the way up through your body. With damage to your ankles, heel bones, knee joints. The hip sockets can be ruptured, pelvises can be broken in two and sheared off, and then your spinal column will take an almost like a domino effect impact. Getting that patient through a CT scanner rapidly as possible is a priority.
We're going to go to scan, okay? Are we going?
All good. Let's go.
We met on a dating site. We'd both had previous marriages, both got divorced. I'd been in marriage for 20 years, and out of the blue, my ex-wife just said, I don't love you anymore.
1, 2, 3. That's actually on the table.
When I met Sally, it was different. She was like a female version of me, but more bubbly. I think she'd gone down the same route as myself. She'd had dates, and you get your people, obviously, you don't want to have naught to do with. A lot of people, they weren't the right people for me, you know.
So, Sally, we're just going to give you an injection of dye, if you're okay.
Come across Sally's picture, and she looked bubbly. I saw her smile, and I thought, that's why I could light a room up. You know what I mean? I messaged her, and then I got this hi. When I first met her, I thought, pretty girl. She just made me laugh, you know what I mean? And to make somebody laugh, you're halfway there when you make somebody laugh. I just knew that I could find a new life with Sally. I could find love and affection again. Somebody to grow old with.
She's obviously got an injury to her lumbar spine, unstable fracture. The risk is that it could damage the cord if she moves. Spinal fractures can be really quite devastating injuries. Damage to the cord can be really quite life-changing.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
40-year-old Kenneth is having an urgent CT scan after being hit and dragged by a bus.
So keep an eye on the ventilator, if that's okay.
Tubed, ventilated, and tidal CO2.
He's a 40-year-old male, code red. He's currently intubated.
Doctors are concerned he has serious internal bleeding.
I think we'll get
Does he do that as a
finger and then
Soft.
if that's okay.
Yes, okay.
I've always wanted to be a mum. I had Kenneth when I was 22. He was a gorgeous wee thing. He was 10 pounds too when he was born, so he was a big baby. You forget your pains all away because you've got this wee bundle of joy in your arms. He was a happy wee boy and had a nice, kind heart. But the teenage years, well, he wasn't that great. I don't know, he just kind of went off the rails a few things. I would speak to him, he would try. I don't know what happened to him.
I saw some subarak on the right side, and I don't know if he's got a subdural because he's got a very tiny midline shift, I think.
He has got intracranial bleeds. We need to chat with a neurosurgery again.
Initial scan results have revealed a bleed on Kenneth's brain.
Can I speak to neurosurgery, please? We've had a code red trauma call to research for a pedestrian that was hit by a bus. His brain, there's something going on the right side. He might have a bit of subarachnoid blood.
Something's called a subarachnoid hemorrhage. That signifies that the brain has had a significant trauma to it. If there's bleeding from the arteries or the veins in the brain, that bleeding will then increase the pressure around the brain, and that can cause damage to the brainstem, the vital component of the brain that keeps us alive. That can be life-threatening.
So this is the patient breathing. Yeah, she's been kicked very hard by a horse. I'm organising help for you now.
A 16-year-old male has just been clipped by the side of a car. They're reporting she's got a deformed leg.
It's a 45-year-old that's had a fall. They are querying a fractured neck of femur. Patient is excruciating pain.
Hill walker Sally is awaiting the results of her CT scan. Doctors have discovered a significant fracture to her spine.
You found quite a distance. The main thing when you injure your spine is your cord. A fracture to your lower back, so your lumbar spine, could damage the spinal cord. That can affect your life quite dramatically. It just needs a bit of discussion amongst our surgical team to get a consensus opinion about how best to manage this. The spinal cord that supplies the power and sensation to your legs, as well as sensation from the hip area downwards. So you could be left with an ability to use arms and legs, which is obviously devastating for patients. The first thing to do is just to keep you still, and we'll go from there, okay? When the rest of your CT scan result comes back, I'll let you know if there's anything else. Is there any other family down south in Derbyshire you want me to call?
That's my husband.
What's your husband's name?
Cool.
Okay.
After about 2 years, I thought, shall we make it a bit more permanent? Shall we get engaged? And I asked her on Christmas Day.
Keith, hi, it's one of the doctors from Glasgow. Do you know that Sally's here?
Well, we were all sat round at the table. We'd finished all his meal, had his prawn cocktail, dinner, pudding. I stood there and said, Sally, would you marry me? And she said yes, and I was just so happy. I just wanted Sally to become my wife.
Because of the height she's fallen, she's been for a CT scan. We don't have the results of the scan in full, but we do know that the initial report shows that she's got injuries to her spine. Yeah.
I've never seen her as beautiful in my life. She was absolutely stunning. She was radiant. She's my rock. She's my world. I'd do all for her. I really would.
It's quite a serious fraction. It's what we call unstable. I think more information and exactly what's going to happen to her will become more apparent over the next day or so.
When I found out she broke her back, I thought, she'll not be able to move again. Will she be able to move? Is she going to be paralysed?
So I was going to just quickly put you on to Sally.
Hi. He said I've got unstable fracture in my back. I can't move, basically. But I'm scared.
I wanted to reassure her that everything was going to be okay. Just...
Improve? Better. You're doing great.
Sally will be taken to the high dependency unit, where doctors will decide if she needs emergency surgery on her spine.
He's got subarachnoid blood in his brain.
In terms of the next steps, really, is just to assess his neurology, what's going on inside his head.
Doctors are awaiting neurospecialists to assess the bleeds in Kenneth's brain.
Just going to go along and look at his pulses and actually examine his foot.
Orthopedics are assessing his other multiple injuries.
He's got numerous nasty midfoot fractures on that right-hand side.
He was 16 when he left school. He was a chef. I mean, he loved cooking, so he decided to do that.
Got a large 8-centimetre laceration.
I was proud of him. The unfortunate thing was he was always there when something was happening and he would get into trouble.
He's got an extensive degloving injury. He's been in the wars, this guy.
I think it was about 16, started drinking heavy. At 22, he kind of put his hands up because I heard the cans sparking open in the morning before he was going to work. And I went downhill. He ended up in the streets for a few years, homeless units, hostels. Unfortunately, the alcohol took over his life.
We've got subarachnoid hemorrhage on the right side. He's got a left femoral shaft fracture, left patella fracture, left medial malleolus fracture, right mandibular fracture, right orbit fracture.
You're worried every day, oh God, I hope he doesn't have a drink today. I used to blame myself for Kenneth's over-drinking. This is my fault that he's done this. But I've learned he chose this path, not me.
So, he's hemodynamically stable now.
A lot of swelling within his head. I think the key thing will be a plan for the cranial injuries.
He's going to go to ICU.
The wait felt like forever. Scott, who was lying there, unable to move for days. We didn't know how quickly he's going to recover.
I'm going to see what you can manage. If you try and do what you can, we're obviously here to help you if you need it. Just say, oh, there you go.
Lucky to be here. Could have been a lot worse. Could have died, you know. Definitely appreciate the life I had before. I'm definitely determined to get to the finish, yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, stand up.
I don't like seeing her in pain. I'll be here for her as long as she needs me.
Well done, Sally. I did catch myself at some point thinking, God, I might not have made it. Something like this does make you put a lot of stuff into perspective as to what really is important in life. It does make you think how important you are to each other. Of course, you never know when it could be snatched at an instant.
There's no guarantee for the patient or the family what the long-term outcome is. The families often go in there equally as frightened. They can't imagine how that person they see in the bed is going to ever be able to go up and do anything again.
How's that? Is it still sore?
Stiff, huh?
Ah, you've came a long way, son. Could have been worse.
Right.
Could have been killed.
We're in there all the time trying to encourage the patient. If it's tiny achievements each day, it's still a step in the right direction.
Oh, I feel lucky, aye. It's given me determination. I want to get back to kind of normality, a new life at life. Me now, I'm not what I drink. My mum's always there supporting me, whatever I do. And his family's everything in me.
I think he's realised, wow, I was actually hit by a bus and I've come through this. He's doing well and I want it to continue. You know, and he'll get through this.